many of our listeners will be involved in businesses that aren't a blank sheet of paper. They're starting with a history. They're starting with a coloured-in sheet of paper. And it's overwhelming sometimes to think about how can I have an impact, where can I start? So we've identified that the consumer has a role to play in that. But as a business leader, as someone that's passionate about whatever that personal agenda may be within the business, where do people start with an impact campaign, an impact agenda? What sort of top tips would you give people who are facing that daunting challenge of saying, actually, I want this business to have an impact in an area that I'm passionate about?
I think that's a great point you make, Matt. I think it's about what you're passionate about and what your business is passionate about. I think it's a good place to start with what your internal values are for the business. I mean, I'm sure most businesses here, even big businesses, would have started many years ago and have, a lot of legacy and history. You can't turn the tables, you can't change what's happened in the past, but you can definitely change the future by taking a small step. And I think a good place to start is to consider what are the values that business truly believes in. I mean, you can't do everything, absolutely, and that's a given. But a good place to start is also the UN Sustainable Development Goals. I'm not sure how popular they are with multinationals and big businesses today who've been around for a long, long time. And quite often people believe that they have to start with creating a sheet of what impact we should have. But the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, also called the Global Goals, are a good place to start, really, because there are 17 of them, and they basically superseded the Millennium Development Goals, and they range from, reducing poverty to climate action to responsible consumption. There are 17. So clearly, if you look at them, there are, you'll fit somewhere. And I think it's a good place to start because there is a baseline. There's a baseline, and your business can then see what impact you can have using that baseline, and you could set your own goals. You could start with one of the goals, for example. This is just one of the examples that I'm providing because I think it's a globally accepted set of goals. Of course, there are many different ways. There are certifications, and more and more companies are talking about B Corp certification today, which I think is amazing as well. I think one has to look at the different options and really look inside your organization and think about the values and start making changes one at a time.